What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Last Word Sports Podcast. I'm your host today, Scott Kavertz, and I'm going to be predicting the NFL Week 12 schedule for you guys. So I'm going to try to make this short, quick video so you guys can just check this out before the games start Sunday morning. I hope you all are having a nice weekend after Thanksgiving. So let's get right into it. First off, we got Las Vegas at Atlanta, 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to go Las Vegas. I think they win 24-17 here. Atlanta's underrated. They've gotten better under Raheem Morris, but their defense is still not that good. They're a little too inconsistent. Vegas is a good team, coming up a close loss to Kansas City, but I think 3 straight wins before that. I like Vegas. Then Los Angeles at Buffalo. I'm going to go with Buffalo, but I think it'll be close. I'm going to say 31-28. Herbert's been cooking. He's probably going to finish with the best rookie passing season of all time. The guy's incredible. Throws for like 300 yards, 2 to 3 touchdowns every single week. But the defense is kind of susceptible. They've had some injuries. Austin Eckler got activated off IR. He might play. Look for him to have a big game here, but I don't really know how much he's going to play. And Buffalo is a really good team. They're like 7-3. They're in first place in the AFC East. I think they'll pull it out at the end, but their defense has not been that great this year, so I think it'll be close. New York at Cincinnati. Those are my G-men, and hopefully we are going to get a dub here. I think we win 27-14. Cincinnati is 2-7-1, and star rookie quarterback Joe Burrow's out for the year. So Ryan Finley, who came in for Joe Burrow against Washington last week when he got injured, he was 3 for 10 against Washington with a pick. He's been really bad in his first 2 years in the league. They benched him. They're starting Brandon Allen for Arkansas against us. If you guys remember, he's played some games for the Broncos before. Didn't look too great. He's kind of a practice squad guy. Expect New York to roll here. They're coming off a bye week. They got a good head coach. They've won 2 in a row before that, and they're in a tight division race. If they win this, they'll be in first place at least for the day until Philly plays on Monday. So I like New York by about 10-14 here. I think they'll win, not by a ton, but a significant margin. Tennessee at Indianapolis. This was a really tough one for me because Indianapolis kind of blew out Tennessee a couple weeks back, but it was a weird game. I think it was a Thursday night game. There was some, like a punt return touchdown or something, I think. But anyways, I'm going to pick Tennessee here. They're kind of hot. They just upset Baltimore. Derrick Henry's rolling. And I think both teams have good coaches, but ultimately I think Derrick Henry is going to kind of carry Tennessee over the top in this one. They've got more experience. Phillip Rivers, look for him to make a turnover here at the end of the game. Carolina at Minnesota. I actually think Minnesota will win this, but it'll be really close. I'm not sure. P.J. Walker, Teddy Bridgewater, what's going on there. Carolina had lost a bunch of games in a row before they crushed the Lions, although it seems like the Lions just suck. They just fired their head coach. I think Minnesota wins by about 4. I'm going to say 27-23. Should be a pretty close game. Minnesota's got a bruising rushing attack with Dalvin Cook, but they just lost a close one to Dallas, which kind of eliminated them from the playoff picture. So both these teams are sort of in like a rebuild mode. Like not bad teams, but not good enough to be in the playoff hunt. So then we have Arizona and New England. I'm going to go with Arizona here. I think they win 27-24. I think this will be closer than a lot of people expect. New England's always kind of a tough out at home under Belichick, and Cam Newton hasn't played as bad this year as the numbers may tell you. Arizona's just a more talented team. They're coming off a long week because they played Seattle last Thursday. Kyler Murray was kind of dealing with a shoulder injury. That's why I'm not super certain that Arizona will win by a lot, but they're the better team. Kyler Murray's been playing really well this year, and they're right in the thick of a playoff race. Miami and New York, I expect Miami to win 28-7. I don't really know if Tua or Fitzpatrick's going to play, but again, the Jets are terrible. Sam Darnold's back. I don't think they've covered like one game this entire year with Darnold. The Jets are just a terrible team, and they're tanking. Okay, they would have fired Adam Gase by now if they were wanting to win games this year. They don't. They want the number 1 pick. They want Trevor Lawrence. I can't blame them for that. That's probably a wise decision, but expect Miami to roll here. People are kind of low on them after a tough upset loss against Denver last week, but they had won 4 or 5 in a row before that. So I think Miami will crush New York. Cleveland at Jacksonville. Cleveland never freaking covers the spread, man. They always win close games against bad teams. They don't really have any good wins on their schedule except for Indianapolis, but they're 7-3. They beat bad teams. They do their job. They just have a ceiling. And Jacksonville is probably the second worst team in the league behind the Jets. They're starting Mike Glennon. Expect Cleveland to roll here. I'm going to say 31-14. Yeah. Okay. New Orleans at Denver. Denver, I don't know if you guys heard about this. All of their quarterbacks, eligible quarterbacks, now have COVID or are on the COVID reserve list for being in close contact with someone with COVID. So none of them can play. They're going to start, I think his name's Kendall Hinton. He was like a quarterback in college and then switched to like a slot receiver and was like an undrafted free agent. Point is, Denver doesn't have a quarterback. They're not a good team. The Saints have won many games in a row. They're cooking. They're starting quarterbacks out, but Taysom Hill filled in last week against Atlanta. Looked really nice. Dual threat gadget player, but he can really throw it. I mean, he's not a super accurate quarterback, but he can complete passes within the great scheme of Sean Payton's offense. So I expect New Orleans to win 31-7. Really, I don't know how Denver's going to score any points with no quarterback. Okay, San Francisco at Los Angeles Rams. This game is going to be closer than expected. For whatever reason, the Niners just have the Rams' number. I don't know why or how, but Kyle Shanahan beat Sean McVay. And the Niners have just been ravaged by injuries this year. I don't think they're going to win this. Los Angeles is really good. I think they're first place in the division right now. If not, they're right there competing with Arizona and Seattle. So this is a pretty big divisional game. I think the Rams will win. They're coming off a huge win against Tampa, but they'll let down a little bit. I think it'll be like 28-24, closer than most people expect, but they'll pull out a win. I think it'll be kind of a grinding, slow game, but San Francisco will just kind of hang around. Kansas City at Tampa Bay. This is kind of the premier game of the week. I know Tampa Bay has been floundering recently, but they've got tons of talent, and Tom Brady's probably the biggest name in the NFL still. Kansas City, right, 9-1 now. Patrick Mahomes is ridiculous. Incredible offense, and the defense has been a lot better than it's been a couple years back. So they've struggled recently, like against the Raiders, but overall for the year, it's still been an above average, pretty good defense. I expect Kansas City to win here. I'm going to say 41-38. Neither of these teams has been playing defense well recently, and even though the Chiefs' defense is better overall than, say, in 2018, this Tampa offense has so much talent. As long as they can just kind of get things going by establishing the ground game first, get Ronald Jones going, maybe get Leonard Fournette on some short passes out of the backfield, then Tom Brady can go work his best game, throw into the tight ends, go and play action. If they just put Antonio Brown in and try to have Tom Brady force like 3 posts or deep balls to Antonio Brown again, it's going to be really frustrating, and it could be a long day for Tampa Bay. But I think they have the talent to hang with Kansas City. Should be a really exciting game. Sunday Night Football, Chicago at Green Bay. Green Bay, I expect to win this one 28-17. Chicago's defense is really nice, but they're starting Mitch Trubisky. Nick Foles was out. Even with Nick Foles, their offense looked horrible. This team is turning in the wrong direction. I think they started 3-0. They're now up to like 5-5. They're going to miss the playoffs. Chicago's a disaster on offense. They are so slow, so old, so boring. They can't score any points. Green Bay is not a very physical team. They got bullied by teams like Tampa Bay, but they still have a really good record. I think they're 7-3. Aaron Rodgers is playing like an MVP. I expect them to win by a solid amount here. Monday Night Football, Seattle at Philadelphia. Philadelphia has looked like hot garbage the past couple weeks. They lost to the Giants by 10 points in a big divisional game. But Philadelphia is always kind of tough at home. Well, I don't even know at this point. Carson Wentz has been horrible this year. Doug Peterson has been horrible this year. People are chanting for Jalen Hurts. I mean, it seems to me like the coaching staff must just think that Jalen Hurts is worse than Carson Wentz, which is honestly hard to admit because they keep trying to get him on the field in these trick play, gadget plays and stuff. Like, they obviously want to play him, but he just must not be impressing them in practice. Honestly, Philadelphia is falling apart. But it seemed like the same thing was happening last year before they turned it around. Won 4 games in a row at the end of the year. Admittedly, all 4 of those were against NFC East opponents, the worst division in football. So I think Seattle gets a dub here. But flying across the country can be kind of tough. Philadelphia's good on Monday night games. I think it's closer than most people expect, but Seattle still wins and probably covers. I'm going to say 28-21. Then, this week we have a weird Tuesday game, delayed due to COVID, Baltimore at Pittsburgh. The last time Baltimore played Pittsburgh, it was a really close, fun game to watch. It was crazy. Baltimore ran the ball for a ton of yards, had a bunch of turnovers. Pittsburgh eked out a win at the last second. This time, I think Pittsburgh rolls. I'm going to say 31-17. Lamar Jackson has COVID, and I think the Ravens have 18 players overall on the COVID or reserve list. So this is really just a mess for Baltimore. You hate to see it, but they're probably going to be sitting here at 6-5 after this week. They might not make the playoffs, which is honestly shocking considering they have such a good head coach, a quarterback who won MVP last year. But yeah, I expect Pittsburgh, who's already 11-0, to take a fat victory here, win by a lot against their tough division rival Baltimore. So there's all my picks for NFL Week 12. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Am I crazy? Am I nuts? Are these going to be right? You can always comment after the games. Give me some feedback. Thanks for watching, folks. I'm your host, Scott Kaverts. As always, we really appreciate your support and feedback. And again, we're going to keep trying to churn out some more content for you guys, amp up the rate at which we're putting out content. So, I'm Scott Gevertz. Thank you for watching. This has been The Last Word.